Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to The Flash How to Do It, where we travel forward in time, very much like Flash himself can, to the Flash movie set to be released in 2018. Now that's a long way off, no doubt. We'll actually be getting a Justice League movie before we get The Flash. But that also means that if we as the internet make our voices heard, we might just end up getting a Flash movie that is perhaps more in tune with what we want. Don't underestimate the power of the internet when it comes to stuff like this. But of course, I'm not saying that the movie needs to be done exactly like I suggest. I'm just throwing out some ideas in order to get the conversation going. Let's jump in. For the average Joe out there who doesn't read comic books, it can be rather surprising why Flash has such a big fan base. After all, there are plenty of characters out there that are speedsters, and a lot of them think that since Flash exists in the same universe as Superman, who also has super speed, they wonder, why do we even need the Flash at all? And the answer is the Speed Force. This is something that sets him apart from all of the Quicksilvers, say, of the Marvel Universe. And it opens up all kinds of really fantastic storylines, and it's something new that has not yet been explored in the live action films. And even the Flash TV show has not really explored it yet. I'm sure they will sometime, but until they do, that leaves it open for the Flash movie to be the first one to really capitalize on this concept. But what exactly is the Speed Force? Well, it's a little complicated, so bear with me. The Speed Force is a type of energy, a cosmic energy, that causes time and space to blend together, and it's separate from our physical universe. It's essentially another dimension, and it's where Flash draws his power from. The lightning that forms around him whenever he moves at super speed is him tapping into the Speed Force. So when he moves at super speed, he is no longer operating according to the laws of our physical universe, but by the Speed Force.
So you're fast.
That feels like an oversimplification.
That's why when Superman, say, flies at a really fast speed, he creates a sonic boom. Or he will heat up if he's like falling back to Earth. The friction of the atmosphere will cause him to heat up. But these kind of things don't happen to the Flash, because he doesn't follow these rules. He follows the rules of the Speed Force. So yeah, all that stuff about Flash's costume being put together out of pieces of broken bits of space shuttles to protect him from the heat when he moves fast, yep, totally unnecessary. He doesn't need any of it. Unless, I don't know, maybe his powers in the movies aren't at that level yet, so he needs the extra protection or something. Because the Speed Force stretches across the whole timeline, there are multiple versions of the Flash from multiple time periods, and lots of other speedsters as well, who sort of draw their energy, draw their abilities from the Speed Force. This is also how it is that Flash is able to time travel and open up doorways to like alternate timelines, alternate realities. So for all these reasons, the Flash comic book has always had a little bit more of a science fiction edge to it, compared to other characters. Flash has at times run fast enough to actually enter into the Speed Force itself, where he can even make contact with other speedsters that have died. Because when a speedster dies, he merges back with the Speed Force, which helps to keep it alive to generate other speedsters. But more on that later on. Reverse Flash was also responsible for creating the negative Speed Force, which eats away at the Speed Force, kind of like a cancer.
As long as I can siphon off the Speed Force, you can't escape this timeline. I'm afraid there just isn't enough Speed Force to go around.
So as you can see, this whole concept is not just an excuse to give Flash his powers, but over the years it's been built into this much bigger sort of realm that only Flash can access, which is specific to his character and differentiates him from all the other characters with similar powers. It changes him from just a guy who can run really fast into something much cooler and much bigger. Flash has an impressive rogues gallery, and we don't yet know what villain they're going to use for the Flash movie, but there is one guy that I absolutely do not want to see, and that is Reverse Flash. I don't want to see him, no Reverse Flash. Keep him completely out of the movie. And that's not because I don't think he's a good character. I love him in the TV show, but that's just the problem. Reverse Flash in that is so good, you're not going to be able to top that in a standalone movie. It's just not going to happen. Plus, all the Flash fans from the TV show, they already know the whole Reverse Flash storyline with the dead mother and the father framed for the murder and going back in time to save her. They all know that inside out at this point. But who else are we going to do? Inertia? He's still very similar to Reverse Flash. Gorilla Grodd? I don't know if that will work in the DC universe. They're going with a much more realistic approach, and a talking gorilla might be too much. Captain Boomerang? He's already in Suicide Squad. Pied Piper? Too silly. Captain Cold? Run into the same problem with Reverse Flash because he's very prominent in the TV show. There's actually not too many really good villains left when all's said and done. But there are a couple, and one that's very unique and mostly untouched by the TV show that does tie back into the previous point about exploring the Speed Force is Black Flash. Now, Black Flash is not a who, he's more of a what. He's an it. He's not a person, he's an entity, kind of like a force of nature. He's basically the personification of death for speedsters, kind of like the super fast Grim Reaper. Because in the comic book universe, for us regular mortals, we grow old and we die just over time, but speedsters who can dash all over the timeline, it's kind of hard for traditional death to kind of find and catch them. So Black Flash is the response to that. No matter how fast you are, sooner or later, this thing catches everyone. Different speedsters have seen it right before they're about to die or when they have near-death experiences, and it's kept a bit mysterious as to whether Black Flash exists because the speedsters' characters are simply too fast for traditional death to capture, or as some sort of bizarre side effect of their connection to the Speed Force. In one story though, when it came for the Flash, he ended up beating it by racing it to the end of time to the point where death would no longer have any meaning and it simply disappeared. But it always eventually comes back. You can't outrun the Black Flash forever. Sooner or later, everyone has to die. But as big of a deal as the Black Flash is, he probably couldn't carry the entire movie by himself. By his very nature, he'd just sort of pop up every now and then, cause trouble, and then they'd have their showdown at the end. So you need a second villain to sort of carry the load throughout the movie. And according to IMDb, Cyborg will be in the movie, perhaps indicating the movie will be kind of like a buddy cop movie between Flash and Cyborg. So if you got two heroes, makes sense that you got two villains. And Mirror Master is a villain that could be a really good opponent for the Flash, and is also quite popular with the fans. His powers allow him to walk into and out of different mirrors anywhere, no matter where they are, effectively teleporting. Mirror Master can also project mirror-like reflections of himself or of other things, effectively creating illusions, which makes him a good sort of match and a counterpoint for Flash's power set. No matter how fast Flash is to catch the bad guy, if the bad guy turns out just to be an illusion, it's not much good.
Gentlemen.
This gives him access also to the mirror dimension, which is a pocket dimension in which he can trap pretty much anybody.
You're inside his mirror.
I can't vibrate out of here. We're trapped.
So it's similar to like the old school Phantom Zone from the Christopher Reeve movies. Clearly a powerful ability that, if used right, could even like incapacitate the entire Justice League. So Flash and Superman have raced a couple of times in the comics, mostly ending in like draws or in like victory by technicality given to Superman or something like that. There's never really been a fully decisive victory about which one is faster, and it's something people have always wondered about. That is, until the Rebirth storyline. In that, Flash was racing to run faster than he'd ever run before in order to save the universe from this catastrophe, and Superman ran up alongside him to try to convince him of, hey, we can find another way, you don't have to do this. And in this, Superman said to him, you can't run away from me, I'm just as fast as you are. We've raced before, and I've actually won some of those races. And Flash looks at him and says, that was for charity, Clark. and then just blasts away, just leaving him in the dust, totally proving that he was holding back all those other times for the sake of earning more money for charity. And he truly is the fastest man alive. That's such a cool moment, and since Superman will be back from the dead at that point, because they're going to bring him back in Justice League, just throw Henry Cavill in just for like 2 scenes, that's all you need. It's just such a great moment, you gotta have it there. So guys, for next week's video, I actually have a collaboration with another channel lined up. It's a Star Wars Rogue One themed video, so that'll be out by Friday of next week. Also, it's time for our yearly tradition here at Bandit Incorporated to do top 5 biggest mistakes of 2016. And for this, I would like to ask for your help, because this is where I put together the big sort of mistakes I made in my videos over the last year. Either facts that I got totally wrong, or just dumb things I said, or stuff I did that annoyed an unusually large amount of people. Just whatever my mistakes were of 2016. If there's any whoppers that you can remember that you want me to include, put them in the comment section below of like what I said wrong and what video it was. So let me know in the comments where I really screwed up bad, and back to it. So bringing this all together now, a fantasy Flash movie for me would be something where it opens on a light tone, maybe with Superman and Flash racing, and Superman can win just by a nose. Then perhaps something happens, like maybe there's a mirror on the street and Superman gets sucked into it and gets trapped. So then the plot of the movie would be like Flash and Cyborg have to sort of figure out what happened to Superman, how to get into the mirror dimension, how to free him. So they have to sort of lock horns with Mirror Master. And throughout the course of the story, there could be Black Adam sort of appearing to Flash every now and then. He'll see him here, see him there, just sort of scaring him, like haunting him sort of thing. So that at the end, when they finally do defeat Mirror Master and free Superman, Black Flash will come after him and he'll have to run for his life. And then we can see that scene that we saw in Flash Rebirth, and he just smokes him, proving that he's faster. And then he races him to the end of time and Black Adam evaporates. Something like that is what I'd like to see. But a lot of the time when I make videos like this, it does, as Screen Junkies would say, feel like we're just shouting into the void and we can't actually affect change. However, as we already said, the Flash movie is still quite a long way off, so there's a very good chance that if enough of us make our voices heard, we could maybe affect that movie in a positive way and give it something that we all want to see. So I went to IMDb and I went to see like who's officially confirmed in the movie, who's a part of it, and very few of these people are actually on Twitter. The only one who really is Kiersey Clemens, who's playing Iris West. She's the only one keeping in touch with the fans, so let's tweet at Kiersey that we want to see a Flash Superman race of who is faster in the Flash movie. If enough of us tweet at her, we might get her attention and she might bring it up with the filmmakers, and who knows, we might end up getting in live action a Superman versus the Flash race of who truly is the fastest man alive. And I don't know, maybe the winner of the race gets a date with Iris or something, because you know Flash is going to win the race, so it's all good. So I've put all the links to find her Twitter account down in the description, and I've even put like a sample tweet message if you can't be bothered typing one out there for you to use with the hashtag Flashing Superman, because that's what Flash is going to do when he beats him in that race. So let's see if we can get it done. I believe we can. I believe we can make a difference if enough of us speak out. So thanks for watching, guys. You can click on any of my other videos right here, and until next time, I'll see you guys in the comments.